Due to the pandemic disease of COVID-19, the school, Garden Ridge Public School has decided to start online classes for the benefit of the students. And our first chapter today we will start matter of class 8. Let's start the chapter and try to concentrate what the matter is. Let us try to understand actually what is matter. Anything in the world which has mass and which occupies space and which can be perceived through our senses is called matter. So the whole things which is present in the world is actually made up of matter. The whole things which has mass, the important characters of matter, let us try to understand matter. The most important character of matter is matter occupies space. Matter occupies space. It has mass. And it can be perceived through our senses. Our senses is called matter. Is called matter. Okay. And matter, as we know, the matter offers resistance to. Suppose matter offers resistance to. Matter offers resistance to. How do we know? Because suppose a weight, a stone, a piece of stone, suppose a weight is lying on the ground and we are going to lift it, then definitely we have to apply a force. So the force which is applied by us in order to lift the stone is called the force, or the matter offers resistance to. This is a good example that the matter offers resistance. When we are going to lift a bucket which contains water, which is completely filled with water, and when we will lift the bucket full of water, definitely we have to apply force. So matter offers resistance. Now our next part subunit is what is matter made up of? So matter is made up of, there were different scientists. Since the story of matter compositions has been started from the BC, from ancient scientists, our important scientist was Maharishi Kanad. Maharishi Kanad, he gave the concept of Anu, which was called molecule. Anu, the ancient names of molecule was Anu, which means molecule. And he also gave the concept of Parmanu, which is called Paramanu. This means atom. So in the world, every substance is made up of the smallest particle, which is called atoms. Atoms are the smallest particle through which all matter is made up. When atoms combine, it forms molecules. So what do we understand from here? We understand that the molecules are bigger and atoms are comparatively smaller than the molecules. Atoms are smaller, molecules are bigger. Atoms and molecules are so small that we cannot see them with our normal eyes.
Okay, sir, please tell me who is invented Parmanu atoms?
Parmanu atom was discovered by Maharishi Kanad, who was the Indian BC scientist. Maharishi Kanad. Atoms and molecules are so small that that they cannot be seen be seen be seen through our naked eye, through our
Naked eye.
naked eye or normal eyes. It can also be not seen. They can also be not seen through my compound microscopes. Compound microscopes. So we have understood that the atoms, the main difference between the atoms and the molecules are that atoms is small, molecule is bigger. Molecule is made up of atom, and in every reaction atoms participate. In all the chemical reactions atoms always participate. When atoms combines chemically, it forms molecule. Suppose hydrogen and hydrogen. When they combine, it forms H2. One atom of hydrogen gives two atoms of hydrogen, but one molecule of hydrogen. This is called the one molecule of hydrogen. When two atoms of hydrogen combines, it forms one molecule of hydrogen. So what do we understand from here? We understood from here that when atoms combines, it gives a molecule. Molecule is bigger, atoms are smaller. One atom of hydrogen forms two atoms of hydrogen, which is called one molecule of hydrogen. This is called one molecule of hydrogen. One molecule of hydrogen. One atom of hydrogen. Here is one atom of hydrogen. In one molecule of hydrogen, it contains two atoms of hydrogen. Okay. Similarly, chlorine and chlorine, they are atoms. When combined, they give Cl2 molecules. This Cl2 molecules is called one molecule of chlorine. One molecule of chlorine. This is called one atom of atoms. One atom of chlorine. This is also one atom of chlorine. So what do we observe here? One atom of chlorine combines with one atom of chlorine, and it gives one molecule of chlorine, which contains the two atoms of chlorine. Two atoms of chlorine. Just tell me. Two atoms of chlorine. Atoms of chlorine. Okay. So far we have understood that in any chemical. So what do we understand from the above two examples? We have understood that when the two atoms combines chemically, it forms a molecule. So what do we understand from the above two examples? From the above two examples, we came to know that in any chemical reaction, atoms always participate. Atoms involve. In any chemical reaction, atoms involve, not molecules. Since molecules are bigger than the atoms, so the molecules do not participate in a chemical reaction, but atoms always participate in a chemical reaction, since atoms is the very, very smallest particle of a substance. Now our next topic is, so what do we understand? The summary of this is, let us recall whatever I taught you so far. I taught you that anything in the world which has mass, which occupies space, and which can be perceived through our senses, they are called matter. Matter is made up of tiny particle, which is called atom. And atom further combine chemically to form molecules. Molecules are bigger than atoms are the smaller than the molecule. In any chemical reaction, atoms always participate, atoms involve, and in a chemical reactions, when atoms combines, it forms molecules. The concept of atom has been given since the times of the birth of the Jesus Christ. The BC scientist of our country, Maharishi Kanar, he gave the concept of Anu, which is called molecule, and he also gave the idea of Parmanu, which is called atoms. And we have understood that atoms is the very very smallest particles, and the concept of atom was also given in the later scientist in the later period, which is called John Dalton. In early 19th century, Dalton gave the concept of atoms also. He proved also that the matter is made up of smallest particles, which is called atom, and atom of the similar substances. According to John Dalton, let us try to understand what the John Dalton tell us. John Dalton's theory tells us John theory, which is called DAT, Dalton atomic theory in short. Remember DAT, D for Dalton, A for atomic, T for theory. DAT. It was given in early 19th centuries. It was given. This theory was given at near about in early 19th centuries. In later 19th centuries, sorry. In later part of the 19th centuries, the John Dalton was gave the Dalton atomic theory. In short, it is called DAT. It is called DAT. D for Dalton, A for atomic theory, T for A for atomic and T for theory. D for Dalton, A for atomic and T for theory. So let us try to understand what he says. And the theory which was given by John Dalton is also called the postulates of Dalton atomic theory. Postulates of Dalton. What are these? Let us try to understand one by one. He said that atoms are very small. Atom is indivisible. He says atoms are indivisible. Atoms can neither be. Atoms are indivisible. This means the atom cannot be divided into further substances, because he says that the substances is made up of the ultimate particle, which is called atoms, and cannot be further divided. So atoms are indivisible. And atoms of the similar substances are similar. Atoms of the substances are similar. Atoms of the similar substances are similar because take one atom of iron. Whether it is obtained from your home or from the iron smith. Take one atom of iron from your home and take one atom of iron obtained from the iron smith, and compare those two atoms. You will find that both the atoms are similar. So no matter from where the source it has been obtained, atoms are always similar types of atoms, similar type of substances. Atoms are always identical in shape, always similar in shape, always similar in structure, always similar in behavior. And atoms of the different elements, atoms of the different substances, different substances are different. For example, let us try to understand. If you take one atom of aluminum and if you take one atom of sulfur, you will compare these properties. You will find that their behaviors, their structure, their chemical behavior and their properties, their structure, their behavior will be totally different from each other, since the atoms belongs to the different element. Aluminum is a different element, is a different substances. Sulfur is a different substances. But when their atoms has been compared, it has been found that the atoms' properties, behaviors, characters is totally different from each other. In the same way, atoms can, according to Dalton atomic theory, Dalton also says that atoms participate in a chemical reactions. Atoms participate in a chemical reaction. We have understood. Okay. Now let us discuss the second part of this chapter, matters. Now let us discuss, which is also a very very important part of the matter, and as from the discussions, earlier discussions, we have also come to understand that the particles of the matter are very small. Particles of the matter are very small. Particles of the matter are interparticle space, and we have also understood that the matter is made up of the particles. Actually, the classification of a matter we will discuss later, but before going to start the classification of a matter, we have to understand Brownian motions. What is actually Brownian motions? Let us try to understand, which is a very very significant part of this chapter, which is called Brownian motion. Let us understand Brownian motion. Brownian motions. What is the Brownian motions? The Brownian motions is actually the molecules of the substances are always in constant motions. The molecules of the substances are always in constant motions. This experiment was given by a scientist whose name was Brownian, Robert Brown. Robert Brown was a scientist. Robert Brown was a scientist, and he told us that the molecule of, especially the liquid, the molecule of the substances are always in constant motions. This was explained by a beautiful experiment. He performed a beautiful experiment. What was the experiment? Let us try to understand. And from this experiment, I am sure that you will understand completely this phenomena. This phenomena is actually when he has taken, the Robert Brown has taken some pollen grains in a vessel which was already filled with water. When the pollen grains was introduced, is mixed with the water, we see that the pollen grains are in constant motions. Why does he moves constantly? Why does this happens? This happens because there is a molecule of a water. The molecule of the water is always in constant motions, and the molecules of water hit the molecule of pollen grains, and that's why these pollen grains are always in motions. It has been experimentally seen that when the pollen grains is put inside the vessels which is containing water, we have seen that the pollen grains are never at rest. It always moves constantly. It never rests. So this phenomena, this experiment proved that the molecules always in constant motion, and this is called the zigzag motions or haphazard motions or irregular motions. Remember this: zigzag motions, okay. This is also called irregular motions. Okay, irregular motions, zigzag motions, irregular motions. This is also called the haphazard motions. Haphazard motions. What is this haphazard motions? Zigzag motions, irregular motions, haphazard motions. Means the motions is molecules always moves constantly, and the constant motion of the molecules is remembered by these names, which is very important: zigzag motions, irregular motions, and haphazard motions. And these motions are, it is also called random motions. Remember this: random motion, zigzag motion, irregular motion, and haphazard motion. These all three names is given by the Robert Brown when he observed after putting the pollen grains into the water. When the pollen grains was kept inside the water, he observed that the pollen grains are always in motions. The motion has been regarded as a random motion, zigzag motion, irregular motion, and haphazard motion. These four motions is very very important in concept of Brownian motion. The Brownian motions is remembered by the name of random motion, by the name of the zigzag motions, by the name of the irregular motions, by the name of the haphazard motions. Now our next topic is diffusion. Should we start the diffusion also today? The later part today. This is the end of the class, and in the later part of the video we will start the diffusion and the concept of diffusion in detail. And I am sure that the students of Tata Public School will be greatly benefited from this video if he will concentrate and learn and attend and listen the classes carefully, online classes carefully, and then definitely he will understand the chapters, I am sure. And whatever, if after listening these videos if they will get any difficulties, they have free to ask me any questions over the phone, over the net and by other means. Thank you very much.
Thanks to watch and thanks to watching, and I hope you understand about matter.